Dear students, today I am going to discuss the different visual aids that are used in airports. So the visual aids that are used in airports are airport lightings and airport markings. So this helps in proper landing, then proper movement in the airports, etc. So there are a lot of different types of airport lightings and airport markings are there for different facilities, and all these are standardized throughout the world so that it is easy for the pilots to follow the indications given by different lightings and markings. So first let's look into airport lighting. So the elements of airport lighting include apron and hangar lighting, approach lighting, runway lighting, and taxiway lighting. So the first one is apron and hangar lighting. So these are the areas that are used for parking of aircraft and also for maintenance of the aircraft. Apron is for parking and hangar is for maintenance. So these areas should have a very good lighting, and for that we are using floodlight, or we can say these areas will be floodlight. So floodlights are used for providing lightings to these areas, and these lights are mounted at a height not less than 12 meter above the pavement surface. So the main thing that you have to consider is these lights should not cause any glare to the eyes of the passengers, pilots, and other service personnel. So in order to avoid that, it is kept at a height of 12 meter from the pavement surface. That is first type of lighting. Second one is approach lighting. So approach lighting is a sequence of high intensity lighting arrangement that is provided before the runway begins. That is, before the runway threshold we are providing approach lighting. So it is for approaching the runway correctly and at proper center line of the runway. So it helps the pilot to check whether the aircraft is centered correctly or not on the runways. And this approach lighting can be provided by following any of these two systems, that is culvert system and ICAO system. So in culvert system, here as we have already said, the approach lighting is provided before the threshold or starting of the runway, and it is provided for a length of 900 meters, and high frequency lighting is provided, and the lights are mounted on pedestals of varying height. Pedestals means some stand like structures, and these will be having varying height, and these are provided at 30-meter interval. In the case of culvert system, we will be having 6 transverse rows of light which are placed at a center to center distance of 150 meters. So for that 900 meters there will be 6 transverse rows, and each of the rows are spaced at distance of 150 meters center to center. So this will be the schematic diagram. This will be the runway threshold or starting. Then you will be having lights placed at 30-meter interval like this, and you will be having 1 2 3 4 5 6 6 transverse bars along this total 900 meter, and each will be placed at a gap of 150. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 lightings will be like this, and 150 meters gap we will be providing transverse rows of lighting. So it is culvert system. So a culvert system of the appearance will be almost like this. Next is ICAO system. Here also we are providing lighting for 900 meter before the runway starting line. It is also called a centerline configuration system. So here we will be providing only one crossbar at 300 meter from the threshold, and we will be providing then we will be providing lights at 30 meter center to center as we have already said, and over that you will be having a bar of 4.2 meter width, and over that bar you will be having 5 closely spaced light. So like this will be at 30-meter gap, and on that you will be having a bar of 4.2 meter width, and on that you will be having 5 lights like this, 1 2 3 4 5. So like that you will be having. So this is the arrangement. Runway threshold, you will be having lights at 30-meter interval like this, and at 300-meter distance from threshold you will be having a crossbar or transverse bar. So like this. This here it is written as feet. So here you can say 1,000 feet you will be having that is 1,000 feet means at 300 meter you will be having a crossbar like this, and these are the lights at 30-meter interval. So total this much is 900 meters. So that is ICAO system. Then comes runway lighting. So runway lighting means you are having a number of lightings are there. So the first one is runway center line lighting. So it is provided near to the center line of the runway. So there we are using semi-flush type lights are used, and these are provided at 15 centimeter interval. So it will not be provided exactly on this runway center line. It will be provided 60 centimeter away from the runway center line, so that the nose gear will not be riding over this semi-flush type light. Otherwise what happens is, if you are providing the light at exactly at center line, this nose gear will be running over that. So in order to avoid that, it will be kept at 60 centimeter away from the center line. And it was provided in white in color except for the last 900 meter. And for the in the last 900 meter, the first 300 final 300 meter will be provided with red color, and the other 600 meter will be provided with alternate red and white color. So it is the coloring. Then comes the touchdown zone lighting. So the touchdown zone lighting is provided in order to avoid the black hole effect that is created after entering, after seeing this threshold lighting. We are providing threshold lighting for 900 meters. And so after that, while it enters the touchdown zone or that initial portion of the runway, after coming from this high intensity illumination, there will be a black hole effect. That means some blank feeling will be there for the pilot. Now to avoid that, you are providing touchdown zone lighting. So here also we are providing flush mounted lights are provided, and for the first it will be provided for the first 900 meter of the runway, and will be provided symmetrically about the center line of the runway. So you can see here like this. So this is our approach lighting. Then this will be our runway center line lighting, and on the two sides of the runway center line, you will be providing like this touchdown zone lighting. Okay, these two lines are touchdown zone lightings. Next is runway edge lighting. So it is provided for getting the locational information during landing and takeoff, and it is provided for white color for the first 600 meter of the instrument runway. And here we are using bi-directional lights are used. Bi-directional light means it will be having yellow and white lights, and the yellow light will be facing the departing aircraft or departing pilot. So like that it is arranged, and on the landing side you can see white light. So like that it is for the departing pilot it will be yellow light, and the other side you will be having white light. And it is provided at a distance of not more than 3 meters from the runway edge, and the spacing between the light is 60 meters. So this is runway edge lighting. It will be demarcating the edge of the runway, and it is provided at a distance not more than 3 meters from the runway edge. Next is runway threshold lighting. So runway threshold means it is the starting of the runway. So this green line shows the runway threshold lighting, and it is used for indicating the end of the runway. Okay, so it is runway threshold lighting. So you can see here, this shows the runway center line. It will be the semi-flush lights are kept it will be at nearly 60 centimeter distance from runway center line. Then you are having touchdown zone lighting like this. Then you will be having edge lighting. So all those things. So this will be the top view or bird's eye view, you can say. So this is the approach lighting, this is the threshold lighting, touchdown zone lighting, center line, edge lighting, etc. Next is taxiway lighting. So in the case of taxiway lighting, the center line, there are different types of lighting other than the first one is taxiway center line lighting. So in the case of taxiway center line lighting, we will be placing, we will be preferring to place the lighting on the taxiway center line, and if it is not possible we can offset that by not more than 30 centimeter from the runway center line, and it is placed at a distance of not more than 30 meter along the longitudinal direction. So it is taxiway center line lighting, and the taxiway edge lighting is used to demarcate the edge of the taxiway, and it is placed at a distance of not more than 60-meter interval. So this is taxiway center line lighting that is provided in green color, and this will be our taxiway edge lighting, and it will be provided in blue color. So these are the different elements of airport lighting. So it is used for visibility during night condition and also during other poor visibility conditions. Then during daytime for visibility during good weather condition, you can go for taxiway marking. So the next visual aid is taxiway marking. So the elements of taxiway markings are apron marking, landing direction indicator, runway marking, shoulder marking, taxiway marking, and wind direction indicator. So the first one is apron marking. So in the case of apron marking, in the apron area, the path which have to be followed by the nose gear will be marked. So the same path can be followed by all the type of aircraft. So whatever be the path that has to be followed by the nose gear, it will be marked by continuous line on the apron. So that is for there we are using yellow paint is used for marking that path of nose gear. Next is landing direction indicator. So here the similar one is used for wind direction indicator also. So in order to show the active landing direction, you will use a landing T like this, and this will show the active runway of the airport, and it will be painted in orange or white color for spotting during daytime and night time. That is landing direction indicator. Next is runway marking. So in the case of runway marking, we are having a number of markings like this. So first one is runway center line marking. So it will be painted in white color, and it will be having a width of 90 centimeter. Then again you are having runway edge marking like this at the edge of the runway. So it is also having a 90 centimeter width if the runway pavement width is greater than 45 meter. And next is runway numbering. So you can see the runway numbering like this. There, if we are having a single runway, usually we will not. If runway numbering, mainly we are marking based on what is the azimuth of that runway. So suppose 27 means we will be having the angle measured from the north direction, the clockwise direction. Suppose we are having an east-west runway, the east will be marked as 90. It will be having 90-degree angle from north direction, and the west will be having 270-degree from the north direction. That means you are measuring in the clockwise direction. So that will be the azimuth. So what you are doing is, so we said at east you will be having 90 and west you will be having 270-degree if it is measured from no direction. Then what we'll do is we'll divide that by 10, so it will be 9 and 27, and you will be marking in the opposite direction. So in the east you will write 27, and in the west you will write as 9. Okay, so that means you are not writing whatever angle that is coming in that direction divided by 10. In the opposite direction you are writing. So east, the angle measured from north is 90 and west it is 270-degree. So if we are dividing that angle by 10, it will be 9 and 27 in east and west respectively. But while we are writing on the runway marking, it will be 27 on east and 9 on west. Okay. So here this means 27 means this will be our east direction. So that side it will be 9. So it will be our west direction. Okay, so that is our runway numbering. Then also you can give, if we are having 2 runways, you can mark here left runway L, right runway you can mark it as R. Then if you are having 3, you can mark it as L, C, R. So like that also you can number the runways. Next is touchdown or landing zone marking. So in the case of touchdown zone marking, you will be having like this markings will be there that are parallel to the runway center line, and the number of parallel lines will be decreasing as we go to the landing direction. So you can see here it will be 3, here will be 2, like that way the number will be decreasing as we go to the landing direction. That is touchdown zone marking. Then threshold marking means it is provided here like this at the runway threshold. Like this parallel lines will be marked and each will be 3.6 meter wide. So that is runway threshold marking. So you are having center line marking, touchdown zone marking, edge marking and threshold marking. Then you are having runway numbering. So these are the different markings that will be coming on runways. Next is shoulder marking. So the shoulder markings are painted in yellow color, and if you are taking runway marking, runway shoulder marking, we will be marking that as diagonal strips like this, having width of 90 centimeters. So like this we will be having runway shoulder markings, diagonal markings. And if it is taxiway, here also you will be using yellow color, but the markings will be perpendicular to the direction of movement of the aircraft. So this is the center line, means these markings will be perpendicular, not diagonal. Then if you are having blast part provided, there we will be using V-shaped markings. So it is shoulder marking. Next is taxiway marking. In the case of taxiway, you will be using yellow color for marking for markings on taxiway. So the center line will be marked with 15 centimeter wide yellow continuous line. That will indicate our center line marking. Then holding line will be provided like this at the intersection of the runways and taxiways, like this. So it is taxiway marking. So you can see here you are having yellow marking like this, and like this you will be having yellow center line marking. So it is taxiway marking. Then wind direction indicator, it will be placed together with the landing direction indicator. So it will be placed within a segmented circle together with the landing direction indicator, and it shows the direction in which the wind blows in the airport. So these are the important ones, and the most important one is runway marking and taxiway marking and shoulder marking. These three are very important, so please concentrate more on that. Okay, so these are the different visual aids that will help the pilot in movement in the airport during both good visibility and poor visibility conditions. Okay, so that's all about the visual aids. So we have almost covered all the portions in the module 6. Okay, thank you.